They looked like the perfect family until the night their daughter tore the whole family apart. What happened inside that house will shock you. The rain that night came like a warning, heavy, violent, and unending. Thunder rolled over Lagos mainland. Detective Enena Chukuma sat in the back of the police van, watching water race down her window as the wipers struggled against the downpour. The radio cracked with static. "Madam, it be like say this case na big one oh," Inspector Kola said, chewing gum noisily beside her. "They say na the whole family die, husband, wife, pikin." Enena said nothing. Her eyes were fixed on the dark street ahead. Olawale Close, a gated neighborhood with tall, quiet houses and electric fences. Too quiet for a night like this. When the van stopped in front of the Adewale mansion, the gate was wide open. Police tape fluttered in the wind, soaked and limp. The guards were gone. They stepped out, rain beating down like stones. Inside the house, silence. A kind of silence that tasted of fear. 3 bodies lay in the dining area. The father, Chief Adewale, mid-50s, collapsed beside an overturned chair. His lips were stained dark. The wife, Fumi, on the floor with a shattered wine glass nearby. The daughter, Tenny, just 16, lay across the tiles, eyes still open. "Na poison you never see, you see the foam for their mouth," Kola muttered. Nena crouched beside the girl's body, her torchlight moving slowly. She noticed something. 2 wine glasses on the table, but 3 plates of food. "Why she no drink?" she murmured. "Who?" Kola asked. "The girl. Her cup is empty." The detective's gaze shifted to the window, a faint muddy footprint on the sill, too large to belong to any of them. Lightning flashed. For a moment, she thought she saw something, a man's shadow outside the glass, watching. But when she turned, there was nothing. "Madam," said one of the forensic officers. "Note from the wife's hand." He passed her a soaked, trembling paper. The words were barely legible. "Forgive me. I could no longer bear the shame." Kola sighed. "Case closed, Abi. Domestic wahala. She poisoned them all." Enena looked at the bodies again. Her gut twisted. No, it was too neat, too convenient. "Nobody kills their own child and sets the table so carefully," she whispered. The thunder boomed again, and somewhere outside, behind a black iron gate, a car engine started and slowly drove away. The next morning, the Adewale mansion still smelled of death, a thick metallic air that refused to leave. Detective Enena Chukuma stood at the gate, watching the black SUV pull up. A tall man in a fine grey agbada stepped out, eyes hidden behind dark glasses. Kunle Adewale, the younger brother of the deceased Chief Adewale. He walked with controlled confidence, though his jaw twitched when he saw the yellow tape and the crowd of neighbors whispering behind the fence. "Detective," he said softly, removing his glasses, "please tell me this is a mistake." Enena studied him. "I wish it was, sir, but I'm afraid your brother, his wife and daughter are gone." He froze, hand trembling slightly. Then he looked away, face tightening. "God, Fumi warned me," he muttered under his breath. Enena caught it immediately. "Warned you about what?" He hesitated. "It's nothing important. Family matter." Her eyes narrowed. "You sure about that?" He gave a tired smile. "Detective, my brother had a lot on his mind. Business, politics, stress. I'm sure Fumi couldn't handle it anymore." Kola, who was leaning against the van, whispered to Enena in pidgin. "You see, I'm too calm. Person wey just lose family, they talk like accountant." Enena ignored him, motioning for Kunle to follow her inside. The dining room looked worse in daylight. 3 bodies had been taken away, but the blood, vomit, and shattered glass still painted a disturbing picture. Enena pointed at the empty wine glass. "We found this one untouched. It belonged to your niece, Tenny." Kunle frowned. "So she didn't drink?" "No, which means maybe she saw what happened, or who poisoned them." Kunle's face twitched again, but he quickly composed himself. "Detective, what are you suggesting?" "Nothing yet, just asking questions." Outside, the housekeeper, an old woman named Mama Nkechi, stood with a wet rag, crying quietly. Madam Fumi no deserve this kind death. She be good woman, always pray, always fear God. And Nena's voice softened. You lived with them long. Since the girl small, but Madam no dey happy anymore since last month. He go cry in night, talk to herself. You hear wetin she dey talk? Something about the blood must not mix again. I no understand that more. And Nena froze. The blood must not mix again. Mama Nkechi nodded, trembling. Later that afternoon, back at the station, and Nena reviewed the autopsy reports. All 3 victims had traces of cyanide, except Tenny. Her stomach was empty. Kola walked in with suya and a can of malt. Madam, report from the neighbors. One man say he see Chief's brother leave the house around 9:30 that night, before rain start. And Nena looked up sharply. Kule? Yes, but he talk say he just come drop document.
Nena leaned back in her chair, her mind racing. Kunle had motive, maybe money, inheritance, or something darker. But Fumi's note, "Forgive me, I could no longer bear the shame," kept echoing in her mind. What shame? And what did she mean by the blood? She closed the file slowly. Kola, tell the lab to run a DNA test on that girl. Which one, Tenny? Yes, she said quietly, and compare it with both Chief Adewale and his brother Kunle. Kola blinked. Madam, you the suspect? Don't say it yet, she cut in. Let us just see what the blood says.
3 days later, Detective Nena Chukwuma sat at her desk, eyes locked on the brown envelope marked Forensics, Urgent. Her heart beat faster. Inside was the DNA report from the lab. Inspector Kola strolled in, humming to himself and holding a pack of puff-puff. Madam, na that test, abi, you don't open them? Nena tore the envelope carefully, unfolding the sheets. Her eyes scanned the first paragraph, then froze. Jesus Christ. Kola stopped chewing. What happened? She looked up, her face drained. Tenny, the girl, she wasn't Chief Adewa's daughter. Kola frowned. Wait, you mean? Yes, her DNA matches Kule, the brother. The words hung in the air like a curse. For a long moment, Nena said nothing. Kola, she whispered, this wasn't just murder. This was a house built on a secret, a forbidden one. Kola exhaled slowly. So Nakule get the girl, meaning he dey sleep with his brother's wife. Kola's face hardened. Jesu. By afternoon, Kule was back at the station. He sat across from Nena, the air between them thick with tension. Mr. Kule, she began quietly. We got the DNA results. He smiled faintly. Good, now you can stop suspecting me. On the contrary, she said, sliding the papers across the table. These results say Tenny wasn't Chief's daughter. She was yours. The man froze. His hand twitched slightly, but he forced a laugh. Detective, that's ridiculous. Is it? She leaned forward. You were at the house that night. Neighbors saw you. You lied about when you left. I said I dropped a document. And maybe poison too. Kule's jaw tightened. You have no proof. Not yet, Nena said calmly. But the blood never lies. That evening, Nena sat in her car outside the Adewale house. She stared at the gate, the same gate where the car drove off the night of the murders. In her mind, pieces of the puzzle began to form. Chief Adewale, respected businessman, unaware his wife had betrayed him with his own brother. Fomi, trapped, carrying shame she could no longer hide. Tenny, born from sin, silenced by death. And Kunle, the only one left alive. What really happened that night? She murmured. Her phone buzzed. It was Kola. Madam, lab just call again. Them find something for the girl hand. A silver pendant inscribed with letter K. Nena's eyes got cold. K for Kule. She turned the key in her ignition. Kola, meet me at his house tonight. Detective Nena Chukwuma and Inspector Kola arrived at Kule Adewale's Lekki apartment. A security man led them upstairs. Kule sat there, shirt unbuttoned, eyes bloodshot. On the TV screen, the news replayed the Adewale tragedy, his family's faces smiling from old photographs. He didn't even turn when Nena entered. Detective, he said softly, you ever wonder if some sins are born before we even commit them? Nena glanced at Kola. Mr. Kule, we are not here for philosophy. We are here because that girl, Tenny, she wasn't just your niece. He gave a tired laugh, bitter and broken. You've already read the results, haven't you? Yes, Nena said, but I want to hear it from you. He poured another drink, hand shaking slightly. It started years ago, he said, voice low. Before the money, before the politics. Fomi was mine first. We were engaged, but Chief, my brother, took her away. He had the connections, the name, the power. She married him, and I left Lagos. He paused, breathing heavily. When I came back, they already had a daughter. At least that's what Chief thought. But Tenny, she was mine. Fomi and I met again once, just once, out of loneliness. That's how it happened. So you knew? You knew Tenny was your child? He looked at her, eyes hollow. Yes, but Chief didn't. And Fomi swore it would remain that way. Kola muttered under his breath. Now pure abomination, inside one family. Kule ignored him. But someone found out, he continued. Tenny was getting older. She looked too much like me. Fomi started losing sleep. She thought Chief suspected. She begged me to keep away. So what happened that night? Nena asked. His hand trembled as he poured another drink. Fomi called me. She said it was over. She wanted to confess everything to Chief. She said she couldn't carry the guilt anymore. I went there to stop her. At what time? Around 9. She was crying when I arrived. Chief wasn't home yet. Tenny was in her room. He looked down, voice breaking. When Chief returned, Fomi told him the truth. I heard him shouting, breaking things. He said he would kill her and the girl. I ran out before things got worse. Nena's eyes narrowed. But when we arrived, all 3 were dead, poisoned. I swear I didn't do it, Kule said desperately. When I left, they were alive. You have to believe me. Why should I? He whispered. Because I still loved her. Even after everything, I couldn't hurt her. Suddenly, Kola's phone buzzed. He frowned at the screen, then looked at Nena. Madam, lab just called again. Them check the wine glass. The fingerprints on the poison glass, they match Fomi's own. But the bottle itself get another set, smaller, belonged to the girl. Nena's eyes blinked. Tenny? Kula nodded slowly. Kunle froze, staring at both of them. What are you saying? Nena said quietly. We are saying that maybe your daughter knew everything and she was the one who poured the poison. Kunle's breath caught. His glass slipped from his hand, shattering on the floor. The room went silent and Nena and Kola left immediately. The next day, Detective Inena Chukuma sat in the back of the police van, staring at the black leather-bound diary resting on her lap. It had been found under Tenny Adewale's mattress that morning when the forensics team swept the house again. Inena opened to the last page and began to read. I'm tired of pretending. Daddy looks at me strange now. He doesn't touch me, but I see it in his eyes. He knows. Mommy cries every night. I wish I was never born. Uncle Kule came today. He was angry. He said Mommy should never tell the truth. I heard them shouting downstairs. I think Mommy wants to leave. I wish she would take me with her. If I die, maybe they will all stop fighting. Maybe God will forgive us. Inena closed the diary slowly, her throat tight. Back at the station, the mood was tense. Kule sat in the interrogation room, head buried in his hands. When Inena entered, she placed the diary on the table. This belonged to your daughter, she said softly. He looked up, eyes red. She wrote something. She blamed herself for everything. She thought she was the reason your brother and his wife were falling apart. Oh God, he whispered, trembling. What did I do? You started something you couldn't end, Inena said. You built a house of lies and your child tried to clean the blood herself. Kola walked in holding a transparent bag. Inside was a small medicine bottle. Madam, na this bottle from Tenny's school locker. Same chemical wey kill them. Cyanide. Kule looked horrified. You mean she? We don't know yet, Inena said, but it's starting to look like she planned it. The next morning, Detective Inenachukuma walked straight to the upstairs study. Kola was already there, crouched beside the bookshelf, holding a tiny black object. Madam, see wetin I find inside wall socket. Small camera, hidden one. Inena frowned. Security camera. No be the regular one, no. This one be like nanny cam, connected wirelessly. Somebody been recording. Her heart skipped. Get the tech team to recover everything from it, every second. That night, back at the station, the recovered footage played on the monitor. Chief Adewale's voice thundered through the speakers. Fumi, what nonsense are you saying? Fumi's voice was trembling. It's true. What? A chair fell over. The sound of glass shattering followed. You slept with my brother under my roof. Please, you brought shame to this house. I'll kill both of you. Inena's chest tightened as the shouting grew louder. Then another voice, tennis, small, frightened, breaking through the chaos. Daddy, please stop. Mommy didn't mean to. There was a pause, then a scream. Fumi crying, Tenny shouting, Chief's voice roaring. And then silence. The next part was quiet. The camera showed Tenny walking to the dining table. Fumi was sobbing. Chief had sat down again, holding his head in his hands. They were now drinking juice from the glasses she had poured. Tenny came close, took the bottle gently, and poured something else inside, a small vial from her pocket. Inena gasped softly. She did it. Kola whispered. Now she mixed the poison. Tenny handed her mother a glass. Then she poured another for her father when he staggered back into the room. Let's stop fighting, she said softly on the video. Let's be a family again. They both drank. Seconds later, Chief fell first, gasping. Fumi screamed, grabbing her throat. Tenny stood there watching, tears streaming down her face, then lifted the third glass to her lips. But she didn't drink. She dropped it. The glass shattered. She ran off camera. The screen went black. In the silence that followed, Kola exhaled shakily. Now she killed them all, madam, but why she no drink her own? Inena's eyes were still on the screen. Because she changed her mind. She couldn't go through with it. Then, how she die? Maybe guilt. Maybe she came back later and took her own life, Nena said quietly, but there's something else. She replayed the last few seconds. As the image froze on Tenny's face, the reflection in the dining mirror caught a faint figure, standing by the door, half in shadow. It was Kunle. He had been there the whole time. Kola, Nena said, her voice sharp now, get me a warrant. Kunle was in that house when they died. He saw everything, maybe even finished what she started.
The next morning, Detective Nenachukuma couldn't shake the image of Kunle's reflection from that hidden footage. If Kunle was there, why didn't he stop them? Or did he make sure no one survived? Her thoughts were interrupted when Kola knocked on her door, holding a file. Madam, you no go believe who come station this morning. Who? The housekeeper, Mama Nkenti. Neno's eyes lifted. Bring her in. Mama Nkenti walked in slowly, her wrapper faded, her hands shaking. She looked terrified, the kind of fear that doesn't come from guilt, but from memory. Mama Nkenti, Nena said gently, you said that night you were off duty, right? Yes, ma. I go my sister place for a corridor. But when rain start, I come back early small. I reach around 9:30. And what did you see? The old woman hesitated, glancing nervously at Kola. I no want talk before because I dey fear. You can talk now, Nena assured her. Nothing go happen to you. Mama Nkenchi swallowed hard. I see Temi for kitchen. She dey cry, hold one small bottle for hand. She tell me say she won't stop her papa and mama fight. I beg her make she drop am, but she no listen. You didn't tell anyone? I try, ma. But before I reach back inside, everything done scatter. I hear shout, glass break. When I peep from corner, Chief dey fall for ground. She paused, tears spilling down her wrinkled face. Then I see Oga Kunle for door. He rushed go inside, lift Fumi head, they shout her name. Then he looked girl like say him go cry. After few minutes, he carry something from table, the bottle, and come out from back door. Nena's eyes widened. He took the poison bottle? Yes, ma. That night, I no talk because I fear police go think say na me. But I swear, I see am with my eyes. When the old woman left, silence filled the room. Kola shook his head slowly. So he go back, take evidence. Maybe he no kill them, but he cover am up. Exactly, Nena said. And that means he tampered with a crime scene. She stood, pacing. He knew what Tenny did. Maybe he thought if the truth came out, it would destroy his name. So he made it look like the mother poisoned everyone. To protect the family image, Kola added. Or to protect himself, Nena murmured. Hours later, Nena and Kola drove to Kunle's home. He was sitting by the balcony when they arrived, sipping tea as if the world hadn't fallen apart. When he saw them, his smile was tight. Detective, I already told you everything. Not quite, Nena said, stepping forward. We have a witness who saw you in the house after they died. You took the poison bottle. His face paled. That's a lie. Then explain this, Kola said, pulling out a printed steel frame. The reflection from the camera. That's you, watching your brother die. His hands trembled. I didn't kill them, he whispered, but I couldn't let the world see that video. You don't understand. Tenny was my blood. If people saw that, they would curse her name forever. So you made the mother the villain instead, Nena said sharply. You let the world believe she murdered her family. He looked at her, eyes broken. What would you have done? Let everyone know my sin? Let them destroy her memory. You already destroyed her, Nena said coldly. Kunle dropped his head into his hands, shaking. I just wanted peace. I just wanted to bury everything. But truth, Nena said, doesn't stay buried. It always finds its way out. Detective Nena Chukuma sat in her office, replaying the footage over and over. The reflection in the window showed Kunle's guilt, but something still didn't fit. Why did Tenny have the poison? Why was she crying? And what exactly did she say before she took it? The original video had missing seconds, a small gap between her sobbing and the final collapse. Someone had deleted a portion. Nena handed the hard drive to the tech expert, Ugo. Recover that missing clip. Even if it's just 1 second, I need it. No wahana, madam, he said, plugging in his cables. Give me 10 minutes. The minutes dragged like hours. Then, beep, the screen flickered and the missing footage played. Tenny was kneeling on the floor, her face swollen from crying. The camera caught her voice clearly this time. Daddy said if I tell anybody I'm pregnant for him, he will kill mommy. He said I belong to him forever. Her words cut through the room like lightning. Nena froze. Her hand went numb. Kola standing beside her whispered, Jesus Christ. Tenny continued, shaking, clutching the small bottle. I don't want to live again. I don't want to remember. Then she drank it. The truth was unbearable. Kola sat down slowly, shaking his head. So, it wasn't Fumi that started it. It was the girl. She killed herself because her own father defiled her. Nena finished quietly, and the mother followed her in pain. They sat in silence for a long time. You go still arrest Kule? Kola asked. Yes, he covered this up. He made the world believe a lie just to protect their name. That evening, they drove to Kunle's residence again. When they arrived, the gate was open. The house was quiet, too quiet. Nena called out, Mr. Kule Adewale. No response. Inside the parlor, the television was still on. A half-finished cup of whiskey sat on the table, and beside it, a folded note. Nena picked it up. The handwriting trembled with guilt. Forgive me. I couldn't live with the shame anymore. The truth is the cause of our bloodline. It started long before Tenny. My brother was only continuing what our father did. I tried to end it, but I failed. Maybe death will end what sin began. They found his body upstairs, hanging from the ceiling fan. The last Adewale. Unena stood by the window watching the rain fall over the city. Her voice trembled softly. In the end, evil never hides for long. It may sleep, but it wakes, always. Kola crossed himself quietly. May their souls find peace. But Unena wasn't sure peace was possible, not for a house built on forbidden blood.